Right. Well, as a severely dyslexic carer for his disabled mother, father of two, I live in Medway, so therefore public transport isn't cheap.
Right.
£6 a day. Anyway, so
to get to your mum's and back, you mean?
To not just get to my mum's and back, I have to do 34 mile both way school run. So I stop at my mum's halfway because I can't afford to go back home because of the petrol.
Okay.
Obviously, the petrol crisis has caused me to have to go starving for 2 days not last week, the week before, in order to make sure that I had the £30 put into the tank, so therefore I had enough fuel to carry on the week. However, the £20 currently helps me pay my road tax because I can't get a budgeting loan because they don't authorise it for such things for road tax in one lump sum.
You're also doing what Sajid Javid is or yesterday called upon people to do, which is not turning to the state in search of support for poorly family members or family members in need of care. This has been slightly overlooked this week. Sajid Javid calling yesterday for people to turn instead to their families. So you're doing exactly what Sajid Javid, a former Chancellor, now the Secretary of State for Health, has asked you to do. And it doesn't sound to me as if you're flourishing in those circumstances.
No, I'm worse than flourishing. I've been in this situation for a long time because I'm severely dyslexic, so therefore the way I normally get jobs is I'm forced into them by the job centre, and generally the job centre pushes you into the discount retailer type jobs which pay you minimum wage and don't give you very good job prospects. And
still better than nothing, though, isn't it? Or is it? I mean, but forgive me if I'm being a bit clumsy, but I have to ask these questions.
I would say the issue with that whole issue is, why are we paying taxpayers' money to me because companies like discount retailers don't pay their staff enough? So we're paying the profits of...
So we're subsidising low wages, although Boris Johnson today will claim that low wages were all a result of immigration. Talk to me, if you can, about what this... You're going to lose this £20 a week, are you, Rob? You lose it as of today.
Yeah.
What's that going to mean in the short term?
In the short term, it means that come my next payday, which would be the 16th, I will then have to find some way of not spending an additional £20, which basically mean that I have to go 2 or 3 days within a week of not eating because I can't afford to buy the food. I know it sounds but even fruit and veg coming to sort of, when you think, I have to think that my food budget for a week for me and my 2 girls is about £25 that I can afford to pay, and that has to pay for packed lunches because of school dinners, even though in summer for one of my child it's free, the other one it's not. Okay. I have to work out a way, so the only way I can afford that is by doing packed lunches. Packed lunches generally come to about tenner, so then I have to work out our whole food budget on £15.
What did you have for tea last night?
We had a tin of ravioli. Well, the girls did. Yeah. I had basically leftovers and pasta to go with it, which I know that's pasta and pasta, but it was cheap and affordable and it fills them up.
And you are going to be £80 a month worse off as of now. Dominic Raab says you don't need to worry about heating versus eating.
The heating-wise, I get that paid through the universal credit.
Right.
So I'm just going to rack up a massive bill. Already have a massive bill, but I'm not going to worry about that because it's in the universal credit. But yeah, I do completely get that because if you're on a prepayment system, you're absolutely screwed.
And what does the light at the end of the tunnel look like?
Well, for me, there isn't one unless somebody magically grants me a money tree, because I would love to have my own little business so I don't have to work for the man anymore and I can actually earn my own money. But that's...
And what happens to your mum when you're working? What happens to your mum?
Well, she basically can't go to a hospital appointment. She can't have she has one of those weird seat things which, you do the business in. I have to obviously change that, and we can't afford to have her have a carer. So obviously, and then getting her upstairs for the evening is my last job, and then I go home. Obviously, when I'm working, I have to work around that. So therefore, generally, I would do work in between the shifts.
I hear you. And I'm grateful to you for being so honest. I'm not going to patronise you. There's nothing I can do. All I can do is offer you an opportunity to let other people understand the reality of what is happening in this country. And again, I'd remind you, there's just shy of 6 million people on universal credit, and Rob is one of them. Before you go, is that your smoke alarm in the background beeping?
That's my mum's smoke alarm that needs a new battery.
Can you make sure you do that? Can you make sure you fix that?
Yes.
Seriously.
But that is also another quick...
I know, as soon as I said it, I thought that. And you know that you can buy batteries in Poundland or on special in Robert Dyer's. Yeah. But if you spend £2 on batteries today, what would you have been spending that on otherwise?
Well, that would have been food, or maybe the petrol in the car or whatever. Basically, I have to literally... when I have a little bit extra money, I buy better food. I know it sounds crazy. So rather than buying... the value cheapo packs of crisps, I'll get Walkers, and the girls will love it because they're getting something that's got a little bit more flavour to it. But that's basically £20, £40 extra a week. That's all that really will do. But £40 a week would actually mean that I can pay all my bills and that I'm balanced zero at the end of the week. And so therefore the stress and all of that sort of slowly dissipates, and anxiety and things like that
on your mental health and their mental health, although it's sense that you shield them from a lot of the problems that you deal with on a daily basis. Before you go, Rob, how old are your girls?
I've got a 13-year-old and a just past her 11 plus 10-year-old.
Take care, mate.